Good evening, everyone. This is the
This conference will now be recorded.
2023 meeting of the Auburn Conservation Commission, which is being operated as a hybrid format under Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022. The public can join the meeting remotely by using telephone and dialing 408-650-3123, and then using access code 942-845-549, or you can join via computer at global.gotomeeting.com/join/942-845-549. So supporting materials for tonight's meeting have been provided to members of the commission. The public is encouraged to follow along using our posted agenda. My name is Michael Garland. I'm chairman of the Conservation Commission. And before we start, let me confirm that members are here, both in person and remotely, and can hear me. So when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Tom Fallon.
Present.
Michelle Colross.
Present.
Megan Langley. Please unmute.
Present.
And Catherine Nordberg.
Present.
Oh, perfect. Jesse Averka.
Here.
Okay. Please note that this meeting is also being recorded by Auburn Cable Television. And having said that, the first item on tonight's agenda is a 7 p.m. public hearing. Scott Simzak, determination of applicability for property at 729 Oxford Street South to complete a septic system repair. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Okay, it's a vote. And I see on behalf of the applicant is Mr. Norman Hill joining us remotely. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening to you all. So their septic system has failed. We've gone out and done official perk and depot tests witnessed by the Board of Health. And then we surveyed the property lines and the topography, and we noticed that there were wetlands across the street. They're more than 50 feet from this property, but they're within 100 feet. So they're shown on the left side of the plan. And so we've designed the repair in the front yard. That's the low part of the yard. There's a well out back, so we have to stay a distance from that. So this septic would go in the front yard. They'd have to relocate their driveway a little bit to the right and then provide room for that septic system. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
So, Mr. Hill, we actually went out to the site this past weekend. As you noted, there are wetlands located across the street, which I think forms a very nice sort of barrier or buffer in connection with the work that's being proposed for the site. And I saw that you filed a determination of applicability. So I think having seen the site, I think we're satisfied that the plan that you submitted represents the parameters of the project and also the location of the wetlands across the street. So I have no questions. There may be other questions from the commission or not. Okay, Michelle, any questions?
You're not really going to be digging on that side of the street anyways. You're just going to be staying on her side, right?
That's correct. Well, the only thing will be in your front yard there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Is there any questions from the audience? Okay, there being none, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
A second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All right, it's a vote. All right, Mr. Hill, I'm confident we will make a decision this evening, so I want to thank you for joining us remotely this evening, and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you. You guys stay well. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Okay, and we did that with a minute to spare. So. Just so you know, we received a request for a certificate of compliance for 476 Leicester Street. You may recall this is that massive solar panel farm. I think they came before us 3 years ago. It's been a while, but apparently They are representing and they've represented to the planning board that the work is complete. Since they had filed with us because there were wetland issues, they have now requested a certificate of compliance from us. I understand the plan was delivered today or within the last few days.
Yeah, it was delivered with them last week.
So obviously, we're not going to be able to take it up tonight. We should go out there and take a look, but we will have sufficient time before our next meeting, and hopefully between now and then it won't snow. Although I know among skiers in the group that will be disappointing, but not for me. So we'll make arrangements to go out there and check out the site. The next item on our agenda is a 7:05 public hearing. BSC Group and notice of intent for property at 369 Southbridge Street for construction of a walking path between the Auburn Public Library and Goddard Park. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
It's a vote. Okay. So, sir, join us.
Thank you so much.
And say your name for the record, please.
My name is Matt Byrne. I'm a senior ecologist with BSC Group. I appreciate your time tonight.
No, you're welcome.
I'm sorry that materials came so close to your meeting. I hadn't gotten the message that it was next week, so I thought I was a week ahead of time.
Okay.
But at any rate, what I've presented to you is 2 plan sheets showing proposed invasive species management and revegetation, as we had discussed, with native plantings that benefit wildlife, and a couple of cut sheets on the seed mix that New England Plants sells for conservation and for wildflower. So one of those 2 would be appropriate to use on the site in various circumstances. And we've included some generalized fact sheets on invasive plant management that we've developed for various projects. And in this case, most of the invasives would be removed directly by force during the project. So those sheets that I've provided to you might have a longer term benefit to sort of dealing with invasive plants across the town.
Okay.
I do have questions. So most of them will there be chemicals that you're gonna be putting in there?
That's when they do the construction, that's an opportunity to just tear them out because they'll have
Okay.
machines there. And so my expectation would be that there wouldn't be a need for chemical treatment.
Okay.
My caution, though, is with the knotweed.
Mm-hmm.
Really can't remove that by force. You can't remove it by cutting or digging. So that has to be treated chemically to have any hope of success.
Okay.
That is a relatively confined issue on the site. So I think that that would have to be decided and addressed, but with a licensed applicator who is familiar with working with knotweed around wetlands.
Okay.
It can be done safely.
And you don't know how close that is to the wetland?
It's up on the bank, right by the bridge, right by the Route 12 bridge.
Okay.
There's one relatively small knot of the stuff.
Okay.
So it would be cut and herbicide applied to the cut stems.
Okay. But it would be minimal?
Yeah. And the rest, like the shrub honeysuckle and the glossy buckthorn, bittersweet, can all be cut and just sort of torn out during the process of the project.
So the knotweed is the real problem.
The knotweed is a problem.
Right. So assuming, besides physically removing what's there and also applying chemicals, do you have a high degree of confidence that we can eradicate it at that site?
I would be bullish on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if you need a specific authorization from us to, in fact, use a chemical application.
No, that is not in the purview of the commission.
Mhm.
So, it's a gray area. I'm sure you're familiar with the dealing with invasive plants or using herbicides in wetland jurisdiction is a gray area.
Mhm.
I think we definitely, if that is the right course of action, I think we definitely want to work with you just to make sure you're comfortable with the plan.
Okay.
But
Well, let's follow up on that. I mean, have there been projects where you've actually needed permitting to apply that type of chemical process?
no, because it's not it wouldn't be a wetland permit. It wouldn't be an order of conditions. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Would they be able to, do like they suggest here, cover that area once they did that with a tarp in that area? Because I know that's a way that, I did landscaping a long time ago, and that was one of the ways. It didn't get rid of it all, but it really slowed it down.
Yeah, you
You
starve
have to- yeah.
you starve that root mass.
Yeah,
the
you have to really
rhizomes.
cover it up to make sure nothing can grow through, like weeds and everything else, but it seemed to be,
Yeah, and one of my colleagues is doing an awful lot of really innovative, invasive plant management on much larger scales, and that's one of the practices he uses for Phragmites. I think he's applied it to knotweed, but I do know it works, and so I think that would certainly be something that could be tried. And the combination of as minimal as possible herbicide treatment and then ground cover can be really effective at dealing with that.
Yeah, I'm realistic. I know that, sometimes I live on a pond that I understand that sometimes it has to be used in order to get rid of, the weeds. It just is.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah,
as minimally as possible.
Right.
So. we
no,
don't-
I'm with you 100% on that. I don't like the idea, but I know there are certain species especially that you just can't effectively treat without it.
I definitely agree that, yeah, like herbicide is necessary for the knotweed. I mean, the things I've read on, I'm not really sure that tarping is necessarily by itself effective, but you're talking about in combination and just, I don't know that it adds an extra benefit, but it's not, I've not managed those kinds of projects before, but yeah, I'm definitely all in favor of treating it. I think, and I'm sorry, since I'm not at the meeting, I didn't get the documents because we just got them last minute from this meeting, but is there any component of, like, for this, whatever was submitted in these materials, for like an invasive monitoring plan, or like just a follow-up to
That I can see.
determine if this, is successful? So like, especially with the knotweed, that it can actually make sure it's fully eradicated.
Well, to answer your question, Megan, I think the answer is no, but I also know that at some point, once the work is completed, the applicant will submit a request for a certificate of compliance, and so at that time, we can go and we can make our own determination how successful the effort's been. That's one thought. And my other thought is that we can maybe address efforts to remove the invasives just by putting in a directive that best management practices be used.
Okay. And when would the spraying actually take place, like for the knotweed?
I guess the question is when,
Well-
given the late date, I'm assuming this project will start sometime in the spring?
Yeah, at best.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is funding in place, or is that also?
I'm not 100% certain on that. I know that the quotes for the library came in at twice the expected amount, and so they're kind of shuffling components, I think, of some of the library work, and so I'm not 100% certain where funding for the whole
Okay.
area goes.
Okay.
And this doesn't look like they would be using any herbicides until late summer, because they're going to be pulling it up by the roots, and then it says it's injected into the hollow of the stem. That's a half-inch.
Right.
So it wouldn't be until like late summer that they
Right.
would be doing.
The knotweed isn't pulled up by the roots, is it?
It says injection method is targeted
Yeah.
to effective method, treating knotweed with cane at or greater than a ½ inch in diameter in late summer.
Megan, if you want to review the documents, by the way, they're all on the town website. If you want to see.
Okay,
more
I
about
just
that.
looked at it and I didn't see. I'm sorry.
Oh well, I mean, if you want to look, it's under. I mean, you can't see the webpage. If you go to Auburn and Mass, auburnma.gov, and then go to the Concom page under governments, then you'll see the meeting for tonight, and it's in there under the 369 Southbridge Street.
Okay, I don't know. For some reason, I'm not seeing anything past 9:27. I don't know what's up. Sorry.
Well,
Oh, that's okay.
Catherine, do you have any questions?
I do not. This all sounds good to me.
Like I said, I mean, we've all, I'm still trying to perfect, like what is it, Dawn vinegar and salt to get rid of my poison ivy. Yeah,
Mm.
sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. So it is.
Okay.
So, all right, cool.
Are there any other questions?
And I'm still rooting for those bat, boxes too. So,
Yeah.
I can get a chance.
Yeah.
Okay. If there are no other questions, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Hi.
Opposed? It's a vote. All right, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Have a
Yeah,
happy
thanks, Matt.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Same to you.
Okay, we had received a request for a certificate of compliance for 23 Brook Street. Michelle, Tom, and I went out there on Saturday. The project actually complied with the as-built plan, which was submitted to us, which was a pleasant surprise. We did instruct the property owner, there were building materials between a fence on the adjacent property and the wall that they had installed to raise the level of the backyard or try to level out the backyard. So we discussed with the property owner that he should clear out those building materials. It looked like it was like siding.
It was exciting, yeah.
So, but other than that, I mean, the project, it's complete. So, having said that, is there a motion?
I move that we issue the certificate of compliance for 23 Brook Street.
Okay, with the provision that building materials be
That's
removed.
Be removed, yes.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Hi.
Okay. And there's no opposition, it's a vote. And then finally, we have meeting minutes for our October 25th.
I have a quick question. Is there a way for me to see the meeting minutes online?
Yeah, you should be. So, I don't know where you navigated to. If you can't see like what I'm doing right now, right?
She should be able to.
No, I can't.
Okay, so go to the auburnma.gov.
Yeah, I'm in the document center for this week's meeting, and I'm just not seeing the meeting minutes, or are they in a different section?
Oh, actually, the minutes might not be on there, unfortunately.
What if I scan them over to her?
Okay. You know what, if you can do that, we can actually take up the two other matters.
I could probably go fire off a quick email. If, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Megan. I'll
Could you
send
send them to
an
me
email.
also?
What was that?
Could you send them to me also?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, let me read that.
All right.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Sorry, I did finally find the Goddard Park documents.
Okay.
Which is the document that specifically talks about the invasive treatment methods? Is that from Ecotech or is that different?
No, this is a document dated November 8th, BSC Group. It's a letter signed by Matt Byrne, and then,
Okay,
do you have
I
that?
see it. I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, actually, it's very thorough. It's very detailed in terms of discussing the invasives on the site and also the methods to remove them.
I don't know. It's saying chemical on all of these.
All right, so why don't we do this? Why don't we act on the two matters that we closed the public hearings on, and then we can get back to the meeting minutes. So for the 7 p.m. Request for determination of applicability for 729 Oxford Street South, is there a motion?
Make a motion that we issue a negative determination of applicability for the property at 729 Oxford Street South.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Hi.
Opposed? It's a vote. And then with respect to Goddard Park, is there a motion?
Make a motion that we issue a standard order of conditions plus the following special conditions.
Okay.
Number is 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, because it was riprap,
Mhm.
8, 9, and 11.
What does this spot fall into?
Okay, so this would be a standard order plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, and, I'm sorry, standard order plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 11. Questions?
No. It's 14 feet.
Okay, so there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'm gonna have somebody else second this one. You may agree with
I
it.
said, yeah.
I'm sorry, and that was Megan?
Yep.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Yeah. let's just discuss it just a little bit more, because he said that it was only knotweed. I just read this a little bit more. There's,
Oh, no, there's
There's-
more than knotweed.
yeah, no. He said that they were only really gonna be using chemicals on the knotweed, on the Japanese knotweed. So I went to the Japanese knotweed and read that one. But if you read on all of these, the Norway maple, best management techniques, they have chemical management techniques on all of them.
Okay, so,
Are they gonna be using chemicals on all of them?
well, what I thought the way we could address that is if they use best management practices.
Okay,
I mean, if you, but, you know, to
but
your,
their best management practices are chemicals.
well, to your point then, are you saying that you just want to restrict the use of herbicides? to
Well, it's
knotweed
not, I
only?
thought it was just gonna be minimized to just one of those invasive species. It doesn't look like it is.
I mean, of all of the invasives that are present at the site, there's no question that knotweed is the most
Right.
insidious.
I agree.
The others, I think, are not as difficult to remove. And so if you'd like to put in as a condition that that chemicals will only be used, or herbicides will only be used to eliminate the knotweed, we can certainly do that. I don't have an objection to that.
Now, if you look further on the notes here, they suggest they want to use rodeo and a wetland-safe surfactant such as Sidekick.
Mhm.
Are you guys familiar with those? Cause I'm not.
I know that they make different kinds of, the surfactant stuff is something that they mix with it for the spray. But I imagine that would probably be something that's for use around wetlands, so it minimizes how it can spread out.
It
So
says
would
that it should, such as rodeo and wetlands, and a wetland safe surface such as Sidekick.
Yeah, and I think what that does, I mean, I'd have to do a little more research, but I think when they mix it with that, it basically, if it rained out, it wouldn't allow it to wash out. It kind of makes it stick to whatever you're spraying it on. Does that make
Does it
sense?
say surfactant?
What do you say?
Does it say, you said surface, does it say surfactant?
It says surfactant, yes.
Okay, yeah, that helps it too. The rodeo is a glyphosate formula that's for use around wetlands, and the surfactant helps the plant to absorb the herbicide.
Okay,
If you just apply the rodeo without a surfactant, it doesn't always uptake it and the poison. So it makes the herbicide more effective in actually doing its job.
thank you.
Surfactant.
You just made me feel better, cause it's freaking me out. Okay, all right, good, I'm good.
I can say too, because I went for that site review with Ecotech, so I know the area where the knotweed is.
Okay,
And like Matt said, it is
But
like
it's
it is
not-
close to the wetland, but it's very concentrated.
okay,
It's really like if you can picture where the library is, and you know they want to put the walking path in because
Yeah.
you can't get over to Goddard Park now. There's like the guardrail going off the road,
Right.
and there's a little culvert that feeds that stream. It's pretty much just up on the bank around that culvert.
okay.
It's
Alright.
not a huge area.
I know
Not to
what
like
you're talking
minimize anything.
about.
you
No, I know
understand
exactly what you're talking
Very
about.
reasonable
No, I
thing to
said-
be concerned
Okay.
about.
What's your pleasure?
Okay, go ahead. Press on. I say aye. Go ahead. Did you got a second? All those in favor?
All right, so just so we're clear here, you're not restricting the use of herbicides to knotweed?
Yeah, I mean, if we could put in a caveat that you're restricting herbicides until, like, you can't do anymore. Like, if that, can that be a thing where you're using herbicides?
Well, actually, I have a suggestion.
Okay,
My suggestion would be that we add a condition, something to the effect of, the applicant will use best management practices to remove and eradicate invasive species, with the understanding that herbicide should be used as a last resort.
perfect. Yes,
Okay?
yes.
Oh, you took that down?
I'm gonna put down. I'm gonna go over the.
It's okay. You can send it to me if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that additional condition, there's been a motion, you second?
I think Megan
Second.
second.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any further discussion? If there isn't, all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. Okay. Megan, have you had a chance to look at the minutes?
Oh, were those emailed now?
Yes,
They
they
should
were.
be, I hope.
Sorry, I didn't actually
Sorry,
get
I'll
emailed.
throw them on, online going forward. I should have had them there anyways.
Okay, I'm looking right now.
Okay. We'll give Megan a moment.
Um, looks fine to me.
All right. Are there any
I unfortunately have not been able to get the email through. Sometimes my Wi-Fi doesn't like to cooperate with my email.
Oh.
But I will say if I am on it as attending and my name is spelt correctly, then I will give it a thumbs up.
You're absent, and your name is spelled.
All right. Moot point.
Nice.
Actually, I did just notice one thing.
What was that?
I can't be positive, but so I wrote down for Hardscrabble Road in my notes, I did not write down that special condition, special order 12 was included, but maybe it was. I just didn't write it down.
I believe that Tom included that. I can't recall.
I mean, that's pretty standard.
Okay,
So,
then I probably just didn't write it
okay.
down.
Yeah.
I mean, you can check that anyway.
Yeah, I can double check it. I believe there was a specific reason, I think, but I don't recall what it was. But I can certainly double check that tomorrow.
I mean, I will say also, my memory is that it was included, and the work that was proposed is actually, there was no work in the wetland area, but it was within our jurisdiction. So, yeah, I think 12 was included too. But I appreciate that, Megan, and we'll check it out. So, if there are no questions or comments about the meeting minutes for October 25th, is there a motion?
Make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes of October 25th, 2023.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions?
Sorry, staying.
Okay, Catherine abstains. Okay. So I think, do we have any filings yet for December 13th?
We do. We actually do. We finally got a filing for 25 Vinyl Street.
Okay,
Yes. So that is the solo filing for that.
okay,
meeting thus
and
far.
then, so look, obviously the next few weeks, going to be busy with the holidays and
Great, thank
everything.
you.
But we do need to go out to 476 Leicester Street, so I'll be in touch. I'll send an email just seeing when everyone's available. We could do it some Saturday. Is there any new business?
Do we make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 23 Brook?
I did.
You did, that's right.
Let's see.
Check it out.
Yes. Yeah, Michelle and then Tom seconded that.
And we approved it.
Excellent.
Do we vote on it?
Yes.
Okay, all right, we're good. Then, if there's no new business, is there a motion to adjourn?
I say we adjourn.
Is there
I'll
a
second
second?
that.
Okay.
All right.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. All right, everyone, thank you very much. Thank you for participating remotely. And we'll see you in about 5 weeks, and hope you have a pleasant Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
And again, I'll
Happy
be
Thanksgiving.
sending an email about
You guys too.
inspection for 476 Leicester Street. So, good night, everyone.
Night.